Yo, what's up? It's your boy DJ DH&E, and I'm back with another episode of DH&E's and Enemies podcast. You know what I'm saying? I was on this YouTube, right? And I ran across an interview with a bro, you know what I'm saying? He was doing with the Shade Room when they were talking about the Ahmaud Arbery case. You know, and it started making me think, like, damn, Jackie Johnson, she's still out. You know, she's the DA that let the George McMichaels and Roddie Piper? I don't know, man. She let them niggas out, man. And she they almost swept this case under the rug. And then I seen attorney Lee Merritt speaking on it, man. And I just wanted to share a little bit with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Have a little discussion with y'all, man. See what y'all thought about it. Check this out. This is the Shade Room.
Absolutely agree. Oh, man. When you hear it, this kind of triggered me, and because I've been reading some stuff. I had some friends tell me some things about some things that were happening to them as far as like some racial things that happened to them, and just seeing this, and it just always brings me back to the thing. Like, it's so crazy to me just to say it simply, like, people really hate black people, and it's really a wild situation. It's just really wild to me. It's wild. And that a brother could be this successful and just doing things on his everyday to make himself great, make his family great, and support everything he has going on, he ends up hanging from a tree. These are things that we don't see that happen to white people, right? We don't hear about white people getting hung from trees. We don't hear about white people getting shot in the back by officers. And it's just to me, it's very disheartening.
No, absolutely. And with the death of Ahmaud Arbery in 2020, Georgia, for example, passed the first hate crime law in the state's history. It's not because hate crimes don't occur there all the time. It's not because there are not 16 other families in Glynn County who are just like Ahmaud Arbery, who had loved ones murdered and had their murder covered up by the state, by the institution designed to get them justice. These things still exist. We don't live, and this is the rumor, we don't live in a post-racial society. Unfortunately, we can probably fill the entire time of your broadcast discussing contemporary racial incidents of violence and state-sanctioned murders of black men, women, and children.
Now, attorney, I saw a video on TikTok where they were saying that the truckers have now come together to stop all deliveries in that town in protest of what happened. Is there any truth to that?
This is the first time I'm hearing of that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That would be nice. I do want to take time to applaud all the people on the ground who have organized to bring attention. It's something that they simply would not allow my office to refuse. Unfortunately, I deal with calls like this 3 or 4 times a month of black men found hanging. And often those are, in fact, suicides. A little research will do. There is a concern with black male mental health. There is a rise in black male suicide. And that's a crisis that we should be confronting as a part of the mental health, reckoning that the nation is dealing with. However, it was folks on the ground who said, no, this needs to have a second look. And I'll tell you, of all the suicides that I see each year, this one doesn't have any of the telltale signs of someone who was prepared to commit suicide. There's no evidence to support the idea that this young man took his own life. And that's what we were hired to pursue.
Attorney Merritt, what can we do on the ground level here? You know, we're here in Chicago. What can we do on the ground level to help support this case?
With Javion McGee's case, it's important to put pressure on the Vance County Sheriff's Office to complete their investigation and to cooperate with the State Bureau of Investigation. If this needs to go further, meaning that the evidence that they ultimately reveal and the conclusions that the investigation ultimately comes to does not seem to comport with common sense, then we have the supervision of the Department of Justice under the qualified leadership of Kristen Clark, the Civil Rights Division, should be looking into this case as well. So calls directed first to Vance County, demanding that the sheriff and his office perform a thorough and complete and speedy investigation. Then to the State Bureau of Investigations under the Attorney General's Office of North Carolina is where you want to direct the attention. And if ultimately all the evidence comes in and we aren't satisfied that justice was done, then an appeal to the Department of Justice under Kristen Clark.
Now, attorney, you represent the family of Ahmaud Arbery, who was killed in 2020 by a racially motivated hate crime. The 3 men who murdered him have been convicted and are serving time. However, the former district attorney Jackie Johnson, who handled the case, has not had her day in court. Can you tell us why having her day in court is just as important as the 3 men who murdered him?
Well, this is the same concern that we're dealing with Javion McGee. It's called state-sanctioned violence. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, we don't live in a post-racial society, and Black people are often targeted for no other reason other than their color. Ahmaud Arbery, who was a jogger on February 23rd of 2020, was hunted down by these 3 men and murdered. One of the men, Gregory McMichael, worked for Jackie Johnson, the district attorney responsible for prosecuting him. She went out of her way, used her personal contacts, used her position in office, violated her oath of office to ensure that the prosecutor that was appointed to the case was both sensitive to the McMichael's plight and that was going to made recommendations to the police officers on how to handle the case, to get it out of the courtroom, because these men were not guilty of a crime. For 74 days, for 2 months, these men walked around. Three men walked free because of what Jackie Johnson did. I'll tell you, I know, of course, Wanda Cooper Jones, Ahmaud's mom, personally. She saw these men in the grocery store. They had hunted and murdered her. And that's because of Jackie Johnson, who then went ahead following his murder and ran for DA a second time. She was not elected. And in 2021, she was indicted on felony charges of violating her oath of office. That was in 2021. That's 3 years have passed without this woman going to trial. And they'll tell you it's because the courts are backed up. That's not true. The courts are certainly backed up. But Jackie Johnson should have stood trial for her crimes by now. There is a legitimate reason, a non-racialized reason. It's because she has hired the services of Jeff Steele, who you'll recognize the name because he is Young Thug's attorney in Atlanta. That trial has lasted longer than it ought to have. Has 10 months to select a jury. The evidence is still coming in. Me and my big brother watch it for kicks occasionally.
And I'm that big brother that he's speaking of, man. I've been watching this YSL trial, dog, and they're stacking up a lot of witnesses. They have a lot of witnesses. The prosecutors, they have a lot of witnesses. This trial is calculated to last, surpass a year. It's already been, I feel like it's already been a year. So we going on year number 2.5 with the YSL trial. And Jackie Johnson, the ex-D.A. that got the McMichaels off for killing Ahmaud Arbery, tried to get them off. Thank God, you know what I'm saying? We got them prosecuted. You know what I mean? She got Young Thug lawyer because she knows that this trial is going to last how long. And I bet you, bruh, I put my dollar on. Look, when that YSL trial is over, she gonna go find another attorney. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like they got that shit calculated to keep this lady, man, to keep this lady free, bro. Like these DAs is hella crooked out there in Georgia, man. We gotta do something about this, bro. This shit ain't cool. Jackie Johnson needs to be locked up. Cause that wasn't cool what you did to Ahmaud Arbery. And fuck that.
And yeah, the trial is ongoing, and that's delaying. That's a reason that she's using to say, well, I can't go forward. She has a Sixth Amendment right to the counsel of her choice. She chose a very good one. She could choose Jesus Christ. The law and the facts are what they are. She is guilty of this crime. She needs to be held accountable.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Wow. Whew. All right, speaking of crimes, Zach, you had a question for him, right?
Yeah. I do. I want your attorney expertise on this. I want to talk Diddy real quick. Based on the charge, were you surprised that no bail was granted for Diddy? Is that common in these type of cases?
It's not common for a man of his stature, of his wealth in this particular system, not to be allowed bail. He has privilege to the highest paid attorneys. He can set probably whatever bond that they match, and he can set provisions in his agreement to ensure that he's not a danger to the public or a flight risk. I am not a Puff Daddy sympathizer, never have been, and so I'm a bias. I'm from the West Coast. I still think he killed Tupac, and we'll get into that.
child. Let me tell you about your greatness within, passed down from the generations. It's a sacred privilege to share with you a simple story, and the subject is you. You're the moral of the story. You're the publisher's proof. There was a seed planted in the garden of Kush, talking to Don, civilization, and it started with us. Planted deep within the soil of the garden within was a seed that held the wonders of the knowledge of men. Creation, and the story is ours. He planted us deep in the soil of the garden of man. There was a purpose to the seed. It was a part of the plan. You see the essence of his love placed inside of the seed. We're reflections of his love. His love abideth in me. You're a reflection of his love. His love abideth in you. Being reflections of his love is what he designed us to do. You never will fail. Have no fear for opposition, boy. You gifted as hell. There's a law tied to existence that will always be true, beyond perceptions and distortions. You're the publisher's proof. See, the moral of the story lies inside of the seed, a reflection of his love he designed us to be. Tie that truth to the law that you already know. When God placed you on this earth, he called you to grow. In the form that you are taking as the rivers they flow. You're the love seed of existence. You reap what you sow. You're the love seed of existence. You reap what you sow.